Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next few hours here, along with Nick with me in the studio.
It's fantastic to be here, Amnon. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's great to have you. And Steve is here.
Leans forward. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Leans back again.
And Mike is here.
Leans forward, and yes, I'm here, and leans back again.
Our number is 919-518-9773. That was an inside joke. Computers 2K now, 2K voice on Skype.
We're off the rails.
And today's show is made possible by Telestream's Wirecast software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So, yeah, it's nice to have Nick here in the studio.
Back in the big city.
Back in the big city. He tried to get away from the storm in Wilmington. It was still there yesterday, right?
What?
I think they said that it was still on the eastern part of the state. The storm.
Oh, yes.
Nick's too far away from the microphone.
He is? Okay.
He is.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, well.
We'll fix it over the...
Oh, wait a second. Let me see.
Fix it over the break.
Yeah, we'll fix it during the break. I'm still too far away?
Yes.
Oh, okay, well,
I'll be damned.
we'll figure it out. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Is it turned on?
Yes, it
Is
is
it-
turned on.
Is it better now?
I don't know. He's
Don't-
not talking.
I was talking. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay, it's fine.
There we go. Perfect.
It's good enough for you.
Exactly.
So, what's happening? You all heard about Google changing their name again? Oh, Google, the main company.
Really? It's
Yeah.
not called
Alphabet.
Alphabet?
It's
called
not Alphabet anymore.
Oh, darn.
Alphabet is approaching its final form after evolving from Google into a corporate parent with distinct arms in far-flung fields like healthcare and self-driving cars. It is now forming a new holding company called XXVI, or 26 Holding Incorporated. Why 26?
Google 26 years old. I
What
don't know.
was their name
What?
before this name?
Oh, Alphabet?
How many letters
okay,
in the
I
alphabet?
guess.
That's why they did it.
What a terrible name.
No. It's code 226. Means that there are two sixes and then a third six.
Oh.
666.
Oh, that's what they are. Absolutely, yeah. Well, so it's like playing games there. Okay, let's set up a new company and call it this, and then we're going to get people to get used to that, and and we also have to do that.
Yeah, but see, I'm going to continue calling them the same thing that I always call them.
Okay.
I can't say it on the air.
No, okay.
Oh.
So this is just the company that holds Google, right? That's all this
Yeah,
is.
that's the.
So are they doing
It's like Alphabet was the big.
So are they getting rid of Alphabet, or they're saying Alphabet is just staying with healthcare and some of this other stuff?
No, because they're getting into all these and
Okay.
and doing all that, they're saying that they are going to change the name.
Interesting.
So it's just interesting that so I guess they have somebody that they're paying big bucks, sitting there and coming up with new names.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah,
a year.
absolutely. Sure.
They're doing it so the lawsuits will go away.
They what?
They're doing it so all the lawsuits will go away.
Oh, no. Oh, they're bankrupting one company, so to speak, so nobody can sue it anyway. Yeah. Yep. Let's see what else is going on. Unless
You
you
hear that
guys have
sound?
something.
You hear that sound?
Yeah. What is that?
The sound of me caring about Google changing their name.
I've got something.
What is that noise?
That is
I don't know.
Steve's computer fan is what it sounds like.
Oh, He's on a tablet. There is no fan.
Oh, it's a Surface. It
Well,
has
there
a
is-
fan, doesn't it? Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fan. Sorry, it's my fan going. I'm streaming,
Oh,
aren't I?
yes. You have a fan going in the room, probably, right?
No. No, it's the fan on the machine. It's I'm streaming video, so it's going to be creaming the
okay.
processor.
Yep. Oh, so the machine has a gate?
Yeah, I've got a gate on the front.
No, it's the mic probably auto gates because it's a laptop.
I'm using voice meter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's what does it. All right. So what else is going on?
I saw this morning. Comcast is suing the state of Vermont to avoid building 550 miles of new cable.
Yep. I mean,
I hate Comcast with a passion.
well, I know, but I mean, if you read it more, I mean, there's something to what they say. They say Vermont is saying that they are making them do that because they are the biggest provider in the state,
Okay.
and the other little ones could not do it.
Of course not.
But this was but what drives me crazy on this thing is it was built into the contract when they signed it. So Comcast got the contract, and now that it's already signed, they're coming back and they say, "Oh, we don't want to do
Well,
that."
it's too late.
Well, then I know, but I mean that's
So then can't
just-
the state of Vermont then sue Comcast for breaking their
Of
contract?
course they
I
can.
mean, that's
But I mean, it's again waste of taxpayer money.
well.
You know,
I
this
get it.
shouldn't happen. That's what I'm saying. Stuff like this should not happen. Comcast should go ahead, do it. They're gonna recover their money.
Absolutely, they will. I didn't realize they were in Vermont. I didn't know Comcast had a presence there because in New
I
York
wonder where they are not.
they're not in New York.
Oh,
There's no Comcast. There may be down in the city. The upstate is all Time Warner or AT&T. So that's in Connecticut is Time Warner as well, I believe.
Uh-oh, we've hit a nerve with Tish.
Oh. There you go. Jump in a lake, Comcast. I agree. Sean hates Comcast. Sean has had an awful experience recently with Comcast.
Well, wait till they get speculum.
yeah, Mike. I mean, I started writing it down in the description, and I said, when Mike told me to go look it up, and I looked it up, and I said, "Oh no, I'm not going to write that down." I didn't know what it meant. It fits.
Well, most guys don't.
I was telling Nick
That's our purpose
where
here
was
is to
this-
inform and educate.
What?
That's our purpose here is to inform and
Yeah.
educate.
Friday we had the storm. Yeah, Friday. At 7:00, there or so, there was a real close lightning strike, because you could hear you could see the flash, and the boom came. I mean, a split second afterwards, and it was bad. Cable went out, TV, and internet went out. Said, okay, it's going to come right back. Well, it didn't. So I switched to AT&T and called Time Warner. I went and started Googling it. And so that nobody really reported it. So I said, maybe it's just us. So I called Time Warner and talked to that woman. Oh no, I chatted on the website.
What was your experience with that? I actually prefer the chat over the phone call. For
Well-
simple stuff like my internet's out or something like
Yeah.
that, it's much easier than the phone system.
Well, but the problem was that the guy on the chat said, yes, you have a problem in your area. Everybody's out.
Okay.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
So then I was already on hold
Okay.
with Time Warner. And right after I hung up with him, the girl answered. So I said, okay, well,
Yeah.
let's find out when. So I said, our TV is out. And she said, well, I don't see any outage in your area. I said, okay, so what do we do? She said, let me reset it. Reset the box. I said, okay. So it went beep, 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 or whatever. And I'm going to look at the box, and
It's not resetting.
It's not.
Of course not.
I mean, it was said it was stuck on that receiving or obtaining initial application or whatever, you know, in the very beginning. So I told her, and she said, well, we're going to have to send somebody there. I said, all right. I mean, it's weird that it happened right after the lightning. She said, oh, you're in the storm. I said, yeah. She said, oh, I didn't know you were in the storm. So it must be something that was not reported yet.
Huh.
She said, in about an hour, if it doesn't come back, call us. All right. Well, it didn't come back. I didn't bother calling because then I went on the, what is that site Down or whatever?
Downdetector.com?
Down Detector.
That's a great website, by the way.
And a bunch of people were reporting from all over the state and from Virginia and from South Carolina. So I said, okay, yeah, it's a big problem. It'll come back. It didn't come back at 11:30. Went to bed. The next morning, it was up. So it's very interesting that they don't know about it in one place. They know about it in another place. And I mean,
well, how did she search your address? And
I gave her my address.
But
I have no idea.
And then she said there's no outage. But then the guy on the tell the guy on the chat? Yeah.
Said he said right away. Said there's an outage.
Typical Time Warner talking to two different departments.
Absolutely,
support. It's as good as it gets.
Yours didn't go out, Mike, right? AT&T. Yeah,
Time Warner didn't go out.
AT&T.
Oh no, never mind. That's AT&T too.
Yeah.
My power flickered while I was doing Windows updates.
Ooh,
that is a fact.
Oh, but did it interrupt it, or you have a?
It did, but it rolled back and restarted satisfactorily.
Okay. Yeah, the outage map. Savage Pagan is saying in the chat about the outage map. The outage map looked like there was, but there always is. If I go and start it and look at it now,
I just sent a link. Yeah,
you know, it always looks like there is something there.
There's three reports in the last hour. So
really,
yeah. Well, because people's internet
it's
goes
always
out.
There's always
a dump truck hits a utility pole.
Right.
People go on here.
Yeah,
it looks like there's yellow over Raleigh, Wilmington, Charlotte. I mean, it's Philadelphia, Boston, Detroit. I mean, it's just stupid.
So it is ridiculous that something like this would happen and will take I don't know how many hours to fix. I mean, it's obviously was a central place.
Something nearby
something
here.
Central.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not just by us. I think it's something central because Charlotte was out, and everybody was talking about 7 o'clock.
So maybe it was a coincidence with that lightning strike then.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I actually, and Mike is gonna kill me. I went outside to check the mail, and that's when the lightning struck, and I said, "Oh, geez." But we have.
Why would I kill you? It sounds to me like you're doing a pretty good job of it yourself.
Oh, shut up.
Back to you.
No, it's and when I came in, I put the mail away and all that, and then I saw that the TV was out, and I asked Kathy. I said, "What, cable went out?" She said, "Yeah." So I went and looked at the modem, and sure enough, it was down. But yeah, that's
quite a storm. It was definitely quite a storm.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was a bad storm. And imagine, this is not as bad as it was. It's the remnants
Absolutely.
of Harvey.
Yeah.
You can imagine. Yep. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype.
I saw this. This was on DSL reports. Some carriers in the Houston, Texas area were offering free service, both like cable ISP and some cell phone providers were offering free service for people in and around the Houston area because of Harvey, which is surprising because these cell phone carriers never do anything like that.
I mean, they always figure that it's going to come back, and it will come back. It will help them in the long run.
But you're using common sense, Amnon. That's your mistake.
Well, Yeah.
They also had
I'd lo-
another interesting thing. I don't know how good or bad it is, but the state of Texas passed an emergency provision that says that you do not have to be licensed as an attorney in Texas to practice law in Texas for a short period of time to help people because of the storm. You have to be licensed in some state, but not in Texas.
Oh, so they're not going to stick to all the nitty gritty. I mean, because an attorney is an attorney, and if they can help,
No, no, no,
no,
no, no. There
that's
are state-specific things that can get you into big trouble. But what that would mean is, let's say that I were to pack up and go down there and start helping people with legal issues.
yeah.
Anything that I did that was critically important, I would need to figure out some local nearby Texas attorney who could look over my work for Texas specific issues, and he could look it over infinitely quicker than he could do it himself.
That's good that they would do something like that.
Well, I agree. I mean, it makes sense. I don't know how many people take them up on it because I mean, everybody's got to make a living, but it is an interesting.
Does that mean that they don't have enough attorneys in Texas?
I would suggest that whatever the normal steady state number of attorneys is does not meet the needs whenever you have the worst disaster in North United States history.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the fight for net neutrality is back, according to The Guardian, which is the bastion of truth on the internet. We've got less than 24 hours to protect net neutrality.
Yeah.
It's a trial like 5 years you've had. Now you're at the 24th hour. You're going to... ridiculous. They got these morons standing in front. Keep the internet free. I got to post this picture in chat. It's a fantastic picture. I wish we could pull that up for the audience. It's a fantastic picture. These are the people fighting for our net neutrality rights.
Well, I mean, if you were seeing, and you were, I mean, all the people on both ends. I mean, it is. I wish they made it a little bit more understandable what the demands are and why. But they don't.
It's not understandable at all. If you were to ask any non-tech person about net neutrality, they wouldn't have a clue.
What is
they wouldn't even be able to begin to explain what it was actually about. I don't fully grasp the entire thing because it's very, very
I don't know that
complicated.
anybody does. Maybe Mike does. You have to be an attorney to grasp it, right, Mike?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said nobody understands net neutrality A to Z except an
Well, I
attorney.
don't think attorneys understand it. It's because you can't trust what the government's writing. They write things in contrary terms. I mean, like Affordable Health Care Act. You can't go by the title and the law of unintended consequences. Even whenever they write a bill that they think they know what they're doing, they don't.
Oh. And talking about Time Warner, let's go back to Time Warner.
Of course.
About 4 million Time Warner cable records containing details of its customers were found unsecured on an Amazon server last month. The files, more than 600 gigabytes, were discovered on August 24th by the Cromtech Security Center while its researchers were investigating an unrelated data breach at World Wrestling Entertainment. 2 Amazon S3 buckets were eventually found. I don't know, what does that mean?
A bucket is their little container of data.
Okay. And linked to Broadsoft, a global communication company that partners with service providers, including AT&T and Time Warner. The 4 million TWC records are not all tied to unique customers, which that statement doesn't...
So is it duplicate information from the same customer? Is what it sounds like.
know. Meaning, 4 million individual people were not exposed by the breach. It was 100 people less than 4 million.
Oh, only 3.5 million people were.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Due to the sheer size of the cache, it was not immediately clear precisely how subscribers were affected. The leaked data included usernames, email addresses, MAC addresses, device serial numbers, and financial transaction information.
Oh, great.
Though it does not appear that any social security numbers or credit card information was exposed. It does not appear, but we're going to find out in about a week or two that actually there were 20 million and everybody, just like it always happens like that.
Typical Time Warner.
Typical Time Warner.
I feel bad for Spectrum with this. Time Warner did such a poor job with everything that they did. I'm sure they've inherited a complete and utter disaster. Not that Spectrum is a much better provider, but Time Warner's a
I don't
mess.
think anybody tied Spectrum's arm behind their back in order to get Time
I don't
Warner,
think they did either, but I'm
they
sure
they didn't do their
but
homework.
But I'm sure they get into this and they're like, oh great, 4 million user accounts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 3.5 million user accounts leaked. 3.75 million accounts leaked. It's just
Yeah, but
par for the course.
it is. Unfortunately, it is a part of the course. It shouldn't be. It should definitely not be. It should be. Things like that should not happen anymore. I mean, it happens to so many companies. Why can't you learn from other people's mistakes?
They're just storing unencrypted data on an Amazon server.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Doesn't seem secure to me, but I guess. What do I know? Just a podcaster.
Yeah. This is another reason. I mean, they were saying this is a company that were their partners, and who knows what they're doing with them. And they're the ones, maybe they put it there for somebody in Time Warner to get, or Time Warner put it there for them to get, and it goes back. I don't like to use, and I don't, Dropbox. You're putting information there. Now, unless you go to the length of encrypting it, and then put it, that's fine. But so many times people put, like on FTP sites, they put, hey, just log on to my FTP and get that file.
Yep.
Where anybody else can do it because you're doing it anonymously.
Yeah, that's a problem. I agree.
And it's really bad. So think about it, guys. When if and when you're putting a file out there for somebody to download, make sure nobody else can get to it.
Well, that's the nice thing about, at least I'll give Dropbox and Google Drive a credit. You can't just take a link from Google Drive, and if I send Mike a link, I've given Mike permission to open it. If I send you that same link, it's not going to let you open it. It'll say request access, and it'll give me a little alert that says.
So that's not, that's
it'll
nice.
say Amnon Nissan is request. And now and they also have another mode that like it's unlisted, where if I send Mike the link, you could see it or anybody else could. But they have a mode where you just individually share it with another person's email address. So if you were to somehow stumble upon that link, you wouldn't be able to open it unless you were logged into Mike's Google Drive.
And
account.
is this something that your average Joe out there, will understand how to do, or you have to be techie in order to use that particular method?
Mike sent me a file on Google Drive.
Mike is techie.
Yeah, no, but
He's
I don't.
using it.
But I'm curious, Mike, when you sent me that file on Google Drive, you probably just shared it with my email address, right?
I don't remember which one I sent you.
It was the WAV file that was corrupt.
Yeah, I just put it into my Google Drive folder and sent Nick an email with a link.
And then actually, this is right. He sent me the link, and he didn't give me permission. So when I got the link, it said ask Mike Phillips for access, and it would the big blue request access. And then he gets an email that says, Nick wants your file, approve, you're good to go. Google Drive, Dropbox, I don't know how it necessarily works.
I don't know. I try not to use these.
Well, the Dropbox is very secure. Half the time I can't get stuff out of it.
Because we're logged into the wrong account.
That happened last night. An inside joke.
I got messages from eBay, and there was something in there about IP cameras.
Oh, okay.
For $39. No, it was Amazon. I'm sorry. So I said, wow, let me go look. So I went and looked, and it sounded really like a great deal there. PTZ and wireless. You just have to hook it to power, and it records on a 128 gig SD, 7 days. What I said, wow, this will be nice just to put in the living room to see if when the dog gets up on the couch or on the chair and you don't want him to, and it had two-way audio in it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I said, yeah. So then I started reading reviews, and this one person said something that talked right to me. He said, when you are using this and using the app, the camera right away connects to Singapore and to China in order to set up the proxy.
Okay.
And when that proxy, when you are on the network, because you're on your Wi-Fi, that camera can at that point have access to your network.
Of course.
And people don't realize that okay, at that point, if they wanted to, they could get in and do things on your network. And they can also use it as a spam, as a bot.
Oh yeah, as part of a bot system.
So I said, nah, I don't want to. I don't want to get into this. I don't know why they need to do this. It's not like you need to have a proxy that will send you the information that you get, because I mean, my security system, there is no proxy or whatever. You hook to the system and it sends it to you.
What security system are you talking about? The one that you have here?
The camera.
Yeah, but it's not connected to the internet.
Yes, it is. I can be anywhere, but there's no app. I mean, I have to go and get to the site that's over here. I connect to that machine, and then it sends it to me. So I don't know why. I guess that's easier to do it this way. They don't have to write a lot of software that will sit on your computer. But people, just think about this if you're getting one of those cameras. The deals out there. I mean, I started looking at it. You can get them as cheap as $29, and as
I need to get a
expensive
couple of
at
those.
$150. And
I need to get some of them.
and do what? I mean,
Use them as security cameras. I don't know.
oh, well, yeah, you could.
I have the Chinese looking at me.
No, you see now, if you're saying now, here's the deal. If you think about getting a few of them
Yes.
for about $129, $150, you can get a DVR
Yeah.
with 4 cameras.
I only need one.
No, wait, with 4 cameras, and then you're connecting to that DVR.
Yeah.
So you should be okay anyway.
More- it's
and
more
it
electricity.
records forever and ever and ever. Do what?
It's more electricity.
Yeah, it is.
No, I think
It
I'd
is.
only need one. But it's, so this device records to an SD card, but you
Yeah.
can also use an app to look at it.
You yeah. All of them are like that.
Oh, they are.
Or most of them. Some of them don't record except to the cloud, but there's a bunch of them that record like that. And you can pan them and tilt them and zoom them and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice if you put it at the beach house and there's
exactly.
nothing there for them to get into the network. I mean, okay, fine. But here, sitting here, and with all the servers that I have here, no, I don't want people on the network.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a way to
And you can block it.
set up and block and all that kind of stuff.
Too much work.
Yeah. So, Steve, what else is happening on your side of the pond?
Well, not a lot, really. It's been pretty quiet. There doesn't seem to be a great deal happening in tech news-wise. Gadgets, things like that. Been very slow.
Weather is getting better.
Yeah, we've had some showers. Had a thunderstorm on Thursday, but nothing got hit close by, torrential rain for about an hour. But in the morning and lunchtime, it was lovely. Went shopping with the dog and my dad. Nice sunny weather. On the way home, it was pouring down. It was just thunder and lightning.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's not much happening in tech world. I've been using Pal Talk a bit more because I'm not sleeping too well the last, several days. So I've been getting up early hours of the morning with acid reflux and heartburn and stuff. So I've been coming down and going on Pal Talk early hours of the morning, talking with some people from America and all over the world. It's been quite interesting.
You need to set up some kind of a baseball bat mechanism right above your pillow.
Yeah, well, I don't sleep at the best of times, and if you wake up with acid reflux or heartburn, it doesn't go quickly. Unfortunately, it takes a little while for it to go, and then I can't get back to sleep. So I think, oh, sod it, put my dressing gown on and come downstairs and then come online for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that acid reflux.
Not
I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Heartburn.
Don't know what you're
Is that what you're talking about, Steve? Heartburn?
Heartburn, and when you bring sick up into your mouth. Sorry, just bring the tone of the program down.
Yeah. About 2 weeks ago, for a couple of days, I had it and figured I narrowed it down to some food. I mean, different food that we ate. But I got on those Rolaids, Tums, whatever, and the next night I just took it, even though I didn't feel it, and everything was fine. And the next day it started coming, and I took it. So it works. Are you taking stuff for it?
Yeah, I've got something from the doctor which is supposed to relieve the, the what have you, but it's not working very well lately.
Mm.
But we have something called Rennie, which are tablets that you suck on, and it just sort of supposed to help. But I've got medication or some medicine that's Gaviscon. You might have it over there.
Yep.
And that's that gets rid of it pretty quick, but sometimes that still takes a while. It's just one of those things. You get old, you got to put up with things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That sucks.
It's fine. Yeah, Nick, you see what you got to look forward to?
It's fantastic. Can't wait.
Listen to this one. A Canadian university transferred more than 11 million Canadian dollars, it's like 90 million US dollars, to a scammer that university staff believed to be a vendor in a phishing attack. A university statement published on Thursday states, don't feel bad if you sometimes fall for these. These guys are good. And many times all a scammer would have to do is convince somebody in the organization that they are legit and they need to do something, and we need for you to send us the money. And before you know it, somebody will say, okay, well, shoot, I'm busy. Let me just do this for him, and I don't want to get in trouble, so I'll okay it. And bam, they get sacked.
You know, the most surprising part of that story is you said it was 11 million Canadian dollars. I'm surprised that wasn't like $100 US. That was the most surprising part of the story for me. Jeez. But I mean, seriously, is their university system so screwed up that it's one person's decision and there's no checks and balances?
No. Let's not give them too much hell. I mean, it happened in the States too. I remember a few companies that sent money to.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it happens, but people need to. They need to put some instructions, some policies, some whatever the word is. That okay. If there is something to do with money and it's internet, one person cannot make decisions.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's it. That will solve the problem. It seems like people are still operating as though they are in 30 years ago when everything was in paper and on the phone and everything. And okay, well, we're just online, it's the same thing. No, it's not.
I just don't see how one person can be responsible for such a. I mean, Emma, 11. I could see if
I
you're
know
talking
that's
like
a lot of money.
$1,000. Okay, you know what? Whatever, small enough. But if one person's in charge of I need to get a job there. I'm packing my bags. I can make some poor money decisions, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of universities, I don't know if you or Steve or Mike or whatever, if you remember I was talking about, this was probably about a year and a half ago at the community college I went to, how they switched over to VDI for their computers. They went virtual with all their information. And the login times and the whole system was just as slow as could be. I mean, it would take 25 minutes to log into a computer. This happened 2 semesters ago when this starts. This would have been actually it would have been the fall semester of 2016, so just about a year ago. And they implemented this new system, this VDI, everything's on the network now, and it was a disaster. Awful. So that semester was a disaster. The next semester, a little bit better, but still an absolute disaster. And I got an email this morning. Greetings. We are experiencing a failure in a data center application that prevents the issue presents itself in the form of a spinning wheel at the loading screen that lengthens the login time and slows performance once logged in. During the summer, the system was tested by many people, including faculty, employees, and ITS, but it unfortunately failed under heavy load of many students logging in at once. The ITS system the people in ITS at this college need to be immediately fired. I mean, the sheer incompetence with this. You're paying good money to go to this school.
Absolutely. And the schools are trying to save money by hiring incompetent people.
Well, I guess so.
And going with systems that are cheaper. Those systems are not cheap.
No. You're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of infrastructure.
Right. And when you see something for $800,000 or one for $600,000, now you're talking about $200,000 savings. You may go for it, and you screw up. Yeah.
The workaround already in place. ITS has migrated all of our systems to a secondary data center, and the performance has improved. When you log in now, you should experience a much more responsive system, which is, I'm sure, not true. Throughout the rest of the day, we'll be working to remedy the cause, yada, yada, yada. But, this has been, since they've moved to this cloud, well, it's not cloud, it's inside the, but the OS is running on data center computers instead of the individual, like, Lenovo boxes. Right. It's been a mess. I would be surprised. Who is this? I know this guy, this chief information officer. He needs to be fired. He absolutely and I love this. We tested the, what did they say? During the summer, the system was tested by many people, including faculty, employees, and ITS. They clearly didn't do a good stress test on it. I mean, you can do a stress test and say, all right, let's stress 1,000 people trying to log in. It was probably 25 people.
Well, that's where the incompetency comes in.
I mean, you're talking first day of the semester. Every professor is having their students log into the computers and get on the system. You're talking probably, 500-600 concurrent logins.
And people are using it a lot more because they're trying to find their way around it.
Absolutely.
So it's not like bang, go, come out.
Yeah.
It's where is this? Where's that? Yeah.
I can't possibly. If I was still going there, I would have raised absolute hell. Absolutely.
And do you think it would have done anything?
No, but I would have been in the dean's office. I mean, this is ridiculous. You pay a technology fee to go to this school. It's like $500 or $600 a semester in technology fee or technology services. That should be refunded to all students. I'm gonna start a petition. Will you sign my petition?
Yeah, I'll sign your petition.
Petition.
This is
WhiteHouse.gov.
Sure.
Whatever.
Let's start a petition.
Okay.
All right.
Required 2 signatures.
Now, talking about taking files and uploading them somewhere so people can get them. Sometimes that's not the purpose, but here's what happened. The FCC lets you upload any file
Oh yes.
to their website and make that file publicly accessible using the fcc.gov domain.
Yeah.
Or rather, they don't, but they have somehow not realized that they are letting people do it and telling them how to in their own documentation. So now you can upload a virus, malware, whatever you want, and people will say, oh, yeah, it's coming from the FCC, so it must be good. Again, where is the competency?
I saw, I don't remember if it was a Facebook post or on this email list I was on, but people were ripping the FCC apart.
Yeah.
Justifiably.
Absolutely justifiably. I mean, what in the hell? What is this?
Yeah, they were, so essentially they were allowing anybody, anywhere, to upload any file to the FCC, and it was being stored on fcc.gov.
Right.
So you would go there to download, and you go, oh, of
exactly.
course.
Yeah.
This is coming from the FCC.
Yeah, it's fine.
They wouldn't give me a bulb. Maybe they would. Quite sad.
Yeah, it is. It is very much so. There's just no reason for stuff like this to happen. I mean, 20 years ago, okay, yeah. Because people still did not realize how it is. But come on, after all the problems that we're having out there, it's mind-boggling that people will allow stuff like that to happen.
Somehow.
Yeah, Mike. Oh, he's...
Yeah, what?
Oh, I thought you was trying to say something.
No.
Oh. Well, this is information that Google Fiber.
Oh yeah, isn't that supposed to? I saw somebody yesterday in Raleigh with a Google Fiber shirt on. Right? Isn't that the little orbs with the?
Yeah, but I mean that's just a T-shirt.
Yeah, but I mean that sure means they have internet, right?
No,
So
I have one. I don't have it.
Yeah,
I mean they send it to everybody.
The shirt.
I have a T-shirt.
If the shirt like resonates internet, that's what I thought.
What'd you say, Mike?
I have a T-shirt.
Yeah. But thousands of customers in Kansas City who had pre-registered for guaranteed service when fiber made it to their neighborhood were giving their money back earlier this year and told they may never get hooked up. Fiber cycled through 2 CEOs in the last 10 months. Fiber is the name of their company.
Creative, huh?
Yeah, they
like
paid somebody big bucks to come up with that
ABC.
Lost multiple executives and has started laying off employees. Plans to expand fiber to 8 other American cities halted late last year, leaving the fate of the project up in the air. The reporter says she recently asked Rachel Hack Marlowe, the community manager for Google Fiber in Kansas City, about the future of expanding the project service there. And she told me it was TBD, to be determined. Kansas City expected to become Google's glittering example of a futuristic gig city. Half a decade later, there are examples of how fiber benefited Kansas City and stories about how it fell short. Thousands of customers will likely never get the chance to access the infrastructure they rallied behind, and many communities are still without any broadband access at all. Many are now left wondering, is that it? I don't know that they are still. Mike, do you have an idea? I mean, you read. Are they expanding in Raleigh? Are they putting fiber in new places? Are they doing anything?
They seem to be rolling it out around here. There are people who have it. I don't know where those sales are. I've tried to get a little better read on it, and people claim that they have it.
Interesting.
And that it works.
Yeah, there are people that have it, but I'm wondering if they are. I mean, in Morrisville and the surrounding areas and North Hills, places like that. But I'm wondering if they are furthering their reach in our area. I mean, they'll be
I don't
crazy
know.
not
I
to.
was following along this guy over in Durham or Chapel Hill. I don't know where he is, and he really is not in touch with reality because he says that I told this before that Google or someone was out laying fiber and he stopped and told the crew that when they got to his house, they were to call him. He would tell them how he wanted it run in his yard, and that he was going to bury conduit and all to make sure that it was just nonsense. And of course, they ignored everything he said and went right down the street. And he's going around taking pictures of all the fiber huts and stopping and talking. At bottom line is he doesn't have the service yet, and he may never get it. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, so they're not as um, open about it like they were in the early days when they were talking
They
about
don't
it.
know what they're doing.
I mean, see, you know what's so unfortunate about this is typically with Google, they come up with these products, they come up with these services, they fail, and they can just remove them. Like Feed Burner, for example, they can just get rid of it. Or
Is it gone?
I don't know. I don't think they're currently doing anything with it. I mean, I've stopped using it. They got rid of Picasa. They bought Picasa and then moved it over to Google Photos. You can't do that when you're an ISP. You can't just get up and it's not a web app that you can just remove and tell the users to screw off. I mean, you've got people that are using it now for internet. So,
Well, guess what? They can.
well, no, they can and they might. But it's just
Yeah.
very very interesting. I mean, Google puts their fingers in everything.
And
And
yeah. Well,
unfortunately, something like this is you can't just stop doing it.
right.
Apparently,
You
yeah.
shouldn't. That's what you mean to say.
Yeah,
Say what, Mike?
Apparently, you can just stop doing
I
it.
guess they can. I mean,
Yeah.
more
They
power to
can.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. And talking about scams and hacking and all that, in what may be a first, patient with heart conditions that are using particular pacemakers brands will have to visit their doctors for firmware updates to keep their embedded devices safe from tampering. I mean, here you're talking about a lot of there were stories that I remember reading about pacemakers that you could very easily break into. Now you break into a pacemaker and you can do some damage.
Well, I mean, what can you literally turn it off if you break into it?
They were saying that they can turn it off.
Wow.
They can change the programming
kill
on
somebody.
it and all that. I don't remember reading that something like this happened.
Yeah.
But now you have to go. And now, we were talking about all those updates that bricked.
Oh God, the doorbells. 3 to 6
So-
weeks, we'll have a new doorbell. That's
So here you go to the doctor. Hopefully, at the doctor's office, they can make sure that what they're doing, or maybe that they know that the firmware is safe and it's been tested and all that. But where are you going? I'm going to the doctor. What for? Updates.
soon enough. Give it 25 more years.
Yeah. So yeah.
And take it to Geek Squad.
Yeah.
I saw a Geek Squad truck broke down on I-40 yesterday. It was quite ironic.
Oh well. There was something about the Geek Squad. They're starting a new service that they're going to sell you stuff.
Oh, great.
I guess I didn't. Oh yeah, here it is. Starting next month, Best Buy will launch a free service where salespeople will come to your house to make recommendations about gadgets and services to try and sell you stuff. The service has been in testing in 5 markets and will be expanded to more cities around the U.S. Best Buy has found that shoppers spend more money when at home than in stores. And that's not how it works in our house. In our house, we don't spend money. I mean, if she goes to the store, she spends money. If she's here, she doesn't. But I guess it's a play
I
on
wonder if
word
they're.
count.
I wonder if they're
And-
saying like when you're home and buying stuff
and
online.
buying stuff.
Online, yeah.
That's what they
Right.
say. Yeah.
Interesting.
And the CEO Hubert Jolly says the in-house service is one way the company will open up latent customer demand. Sales associates are responsible for promoting the service. When customers ask about certain products, the salesperson will suggest an in-home visit. So next time you call for help, you may get that. The topics discussed during the home visits usually involve recommendation for products and gadgets and other services. They did say that those reps work on a salary and not on commission. So that's, I guess, supposed to put us at ease. But where do you find, I mean, when you go to the store, you have people that work in the computer department. You have people that work in the washing machine department.
Nobody's ever there.
Well, I understand, but I mean, the thing is, they're supposed to know about this particular thing.
Yeah.
Now, the person comes to you. First of all, they probably just hired them. Second, is he going to be able to talk about everything? And say, oh, well, yeah, I see about the TV, but we also want to get a new dryer. What do you think? We'll have to send somebody else. So it may be a neat thing for some people to be able to get somebody to come and visit them at home.
Yeah.
But it can prolong things. When you go to the store, you can go and say, okay, we see the TV. Okay, yeah, now, over here is the washer and dryer. That's great. And we need the printer, so it's over there. And you do the whole thing. Here, you may have to wait for 3 visits. I don't know about that. Mike, would you like to have somebody from Best Buy coming to your house and do it and tell you what to buy?
Depends on what she looks like.
Back to you.
Is Minor LA and the no, she's sleeping. No, she's here.
No, she's there.
Oh, Mike is taking the glasses off. He doesn't want them broken.
No, she's on the other side of the house. It'd take her half hour to get here.
Jeez.
Oh boy.
She lets me say anything I want as long as it's all right with her.
That's the way it should be.
So how is this going to work? Is this going to be like when the power company comes and gives you like your free energy assessment? Is this how this is going to work?
Well, no, they come to give you an assessment. These people are coming in to talk to you. You said, I want some information, but which TV I need to buy.
Okay. So you
So
would
they're
you
gonna
inquire
come-
to them.
Yeah, so they come, they say, okay, we need to send somebody. So they'll come and they look at the wall and they say, okay, yeah, you can't put a 160-inch TV here. You need to go with 19, or and you should buy the 8K, not the 4K. And you heard about that, didn't you? Now Samsung is jumping over the 4K and they already have an 8K.
Oh, great.
So it's after everybody bought the 4K, now they have the 8K. Yeah, great. What you do is, what, Steve?
Sharp.
What do you mean?
It's Sharp, not Samsung.
Oh, Sharp. That's right. It's not Samsung. Yeah. So if you have caps, you can watch about 4 minutes of a movie and you're over your cap. Or over your limit.
I watch all my movies on my phone. Just instantly burn up all my data.
I mean, it's. But anyway, so that's what they'll come and they tell you, and they supposedly tailor it to your needs.
And they're getting no commission? I find
That's
that
what they
hard.
say.
I find that almost impossible.
That's what
to
they're
believe.
saying. That's what the article said. No not commissions, but straight salary.
I don't think I'd trust somebody from Best Buy to make a decision like that for me.
Yeah,
Those
we'll have
people-
to wait and see until we hear from
Okay,
somebody.
I've got a
that-
great idea, Amnon. Here we go.
Okay.
Can we test this service? Why can't
We send somebody.
No, I'll come up here. We'll do a hidden camera. I want you to have one of these people come. I want to see what they recommend for you. Why can't we do this?
We could later on. They don't have it in our area yet.
Okay, well, once they get it,
Yeah,
absolutely.
then
I think
we
that would
could-
be.
we could. That would
'cause
be
I
very
It would
interesting.
be. I'd be interested to hear. Are they actually making a good recommendation for you, or are they just giving you some BS thing that they're
it's
trying to
pro-
get
it-
off the shelf?
I would think that it's a lot of BS because you're not. Best Buy is not the place that you go to get expert advice on what you should buy. You
Yeah.
go there because they have it and you buy it. You need to do your own research.
Yeah.
Mike, yo, Mike.
Hello.
What happens if we do that and we do a hidden camera interview? Is this any kind of pitfall there? Do you know?
Are you asking me if there's a legal problem with
yeah.
recording someone in your home giving you a pitch?
Yeah.
Probably not. There's the issue of what's legal and not legal versus the issue of what someone would sue over and what they wouldn't sue over. They're not the same necessarily.
So, are we in the clear?
So you're trying to get a yes or no to answer to a maybe question.
Okay. Exactly.
Maybe.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe.
Would you represent us in court, Mike?
I don't know. We haven't talked funding yet.
Amnon's got plenty of money. It's fine.
I know he
talking-
does, but he's really tight with it.
Talking about funding, Mike, did you hear about the guy that found out about the Mirai, whatever it was? No, the WannaCry.
Oh, yeah, I did hear something
And
about this.
he's sued now because of other stuff, and people donated upwards of $150,000 to his defense fund.
Mm-hmm.
And his lawyer found out that he could only account for $4,900 that are legitimate, and the rest of it was all illegitimately donated through false and credit cards, stolen credit cards, and
Wow.
things like that. And he's doing refunds for everything.
Probably through
He needs
PayPal.
to be a politician with that level of accountability.
Well, I mean, that's what he's being sued for, phishing and malware and stuff like that. So his audience obviously is.
It's fantastic.
Yep. What else? What else?
I don't know.
I'm trying to retire a computer, and one of the things that's holding me there is an installation of Thunderbird, because over the years I have developed a very comprehensive set of email addresses that are monitored through Thunderbird. And I'm debating how I should move everything over, because Thunderbird spreads stuff all over the hard drive.
Would
I really like it as an email client. Why in 2017 do we not have something better than Outlook and Thunderbird?
We do.
What?
We have EM client.
Nope, that sucks.
Well, okay. Elaborate. Why does that suck?
Because I will show you when you get back over here. I will show you. I will open it on my computer and show that there's nothing there. It just decided to completely dump everything I had in it.
I've been using it. I don't like it, and I've got a lot of problems. Not technical problems, but problems with the way it operates. But
It's the only thing out there.
it never does that.
So
knock
you know
on
what the
wood.
solution is to this, Mike? And I think for most people,
Webmail.
well, the webmail. But see, the problem with Gmail is they make it such a colossal pain in the butt to manage multiple accounts. It's almost impossible.
Agreed.
Almost impossible. I mean, I've got. If I go to
Yeah,
if I go to
I get it.
Gmail on my laptop, there are. Let's see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Gmail accounts on my sidebar.
Right.
And there's just no way to have them all into one thing. I'd have to have 7 tabs open to monitor each email.
Why would you want to have it all in one tab?
Because I just want to have it all together.
Then why do you have 7 different addresses?
Because there's 7 different things. I've got some personal accounts, I've got some work accounts, but I just would like them all in one place.
Okay. I thought
Nick
you-
is a very important fellow, him.
Yeah, I mean, I get emails from very important people all the time. I mean, But I hate the
interesting.
fact, and I've got some throwaway accounts. Like I've got a Gmail account on here. I use nothing but signing up for mailing lists and other garbage. I don't need to monitor that closely, but it's the default email account when I log in.
Um,
The last email I got in here was May 27th. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I remember when I was. I mean, I do it reluctantly, but I agree with Nick. It's the only thing out there if you want to have something that's usable. And it's
Well,
not that Nick. It's I'm agreeing to EM client reluctantly.
I understand. I mean, I got along fine with Outlook Express, except that somebody's echoing. You got your speakers too loud. But I liked Outlook Express, but for the fact that the DBF files would get corrupt and you'd lose everything.
No, wait a second. In the DBX files were a nice feature in my opinion because you would lose maybe one mailbox. You will not lose the whole thing. You would maybe lose one. And it was so easy to back it up through a batch file and say, just go ahead and back up this DBX and this DBX and this DBX and this DBX. I never ever had a problem with Outlook Express that I couldn't fix and get back to where it was using either a utility or a restore. And it was so nice. It was great.
Yeah. I never had a problem until I had a problem either.
Well, so maybe I just never hit it. But I don't know what the other programs are out there.
There's not. There's Thunderbird, EM Client, or the most recent version of Outlook. There's really nothing else. I guess part of the problem is people my age don't use email.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
people my age don't have computers.
They do, but they use webmail. Most people are using webmail.
Most people use it on their phone. I mean, I've got email accounts that I have on my phone that I don't even know how I'd be able to access them online. For example, you're hosting one of my email accounts.
So
I have no way to even access that on my computer. I mean, I know how I could, but I don't. I don't even have it set up anywhere. It just goes to my phone.
But how do you back these up?
I don't back them up.
Well, I mean, if it's important email account, you want to be able to back it up.
With Gmail, you don't.
And be able to.
It's
well,
you're talking about IMAP. There's no backup. You're checking the server for the
you
email.
should be able to download it though.
Not with IMAP.
Yeah, I mean, IMAP will allow you. I mean, our IMAP server allows you, if you want to get it and keep it, but then you keep using it on the web. But you have it locally.
I don't know. See, I'm not. I mean, I guess here's the way I see it with Google. If Google loses all their emails, I mean, screw it. Who cares? I mean,
and by the other you get what you pay for. If you don't pay for it and they lose it, there's nothing you can do about it.
And I do have paid for. I mean, our Mike and I's business emails are paid for Google Apps accounts. So I would imagine those have a different level of security backup.
Yes, and they are backed up by them.
And actually, we can't back those up because I did look at doing that.
Well, there are some third-party utilities for backing up Gmail accounts that work. I've used them, but it's been years, and whether they have been blocked by Gmail, I don't know. But you could run this little utility, and it would absolutely back up your Gmail accounts into a readable format.
Yeah, I've never not used something like Gmail where I've lost emails or email addresses. It's just, I don't know.
Now, when we're talking about it, I mean, there are other email utilities out there. There's Mailbird. There is, I can't remember. I mean, I remember when I was searching, there are
a whole
others,
bunch of open source ones. Yeah.
They are not as robust.
And the thing I think Mailbird is one of the ones. I think I know which one you're talking about. It's great for like one account. It's very lightweight, super easy to use, but it doesn't do anything specific. And for me, that doesn't bother me. But I know you do rules, and none of that stuff works in these. Which again, if you want one Gmail account on your computer, something like I don't remember if it's Mailbird or not, would be perfect. Because you don't do anything.
I don't remember what. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it didn't play for me.
But I don't think there will be any. I mean, seriously, if you were today, I don't know why you would invest a whole bunch of money to make a good email client. I mean, the market of people that
Right.
use it is
Yeah.
so, I think, very limited.
Except for the
I mean, businesses use
thing.
Outlook
Right.
or now Google Apps for business.
Mike, why aren't you using Outlook? That's
I do use Outlook, but I use it primarily for my important stuff, and I have a lot of unimportant stuff that I don't want to mix in with the important stuff. Keep in mind that for a long time, for years, at one point Outlook would get constipated
Yeah.
at 100 megabytes or whatever it was. Then it was 2 gigabytes.
2 gig. Yeah. Today, I think it's unlimited.
It's not. There's no such thing as unlimited. It may be terabytes, but it's
Yeah.
limited. And the size of that PST file will grow unless you archive it, and then you've got to move it over into a separate file. I mean, it's just a real pain.
Well,
It's hard to beat Thunderbird in IMAP with a Gmail account. It's really hard to beat. I mean, it's a really nice interface, and Gmail probably is as backed up as anybody's email is going to be because it's on your server and it's on your local machine.
okay. So why are you trying to get rid of it?
Because I'm trying to get rid of this XP computer, and I'm sitting here now moving email. I'm sort of surprised. I just archived emails on this machine from 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying not to repeat. I'm trying not to take my mess over to the new computer.
When you say a mess, are you talking about Thunderbird is a mess?
It is, because it has grown over time. It has become, I mean, it's just loaded with email. And
Oh, you're talking about the data in it, not the program itself.
oh yeah, no, the program, I really like the program. I don't have any hesitation recommending Thunderbird. The two problems I have with Thunderbird are that some of the settings in it are absolutely non-intuitive. They just, you look at answers to certain questions that don't make any sense to me. And to the techies who wrote it, it's clear as a bell. Clean up or expunge the inbox on exit. I don't know whether to check that. Storage, where do you want to store it? Do you want to store it on Gmail or do you want to store it on the local drive? That doesn't work exactly the way it says it should work. It's not quite that clear. I mean, there's some things here that just maybe Nick can figure them out. I don't get it.
I don't like Thunderbird. I wasn't a fan of it.
What did you say?
I said I don't like Thunderbird. I used it for a while. I wasn't a fan of it. I just didn't.
Because of what? Do you remember?
I just didn't like it. It got slow. It was clunky, and like Mike said, there was just things in it that just made absolutely no sense. And then for a while, I just stopped using email clients, and then EM client came around, and I use that now. But I mean, it's open on my computer. I rarely use it to send email. I send stuff through Gmail. That's what I do. That's exactly what I do with EM client. I use it to view the emails. I respond inside of Gmail though, because my signature is there and all that stuff.
Yeah, that seems like a kludge.
Oh, it is. It's just I only have EM client on my desktop, and it auto launches. But I don't know.
Well, if Gmail would make it possible, and I thought Andrew had his set up where he had all of his accounts in the left-hand column. He would click on one, and there was his email for that client. And I asked him several times how he had it set up, and I never got a straight answer.
Now, what you might be able to find, Mike, and I will do some research on this now, is do you use Google Chrome or Firefox?
Primarily Chrome.
So there may be a Chrome extension that allows you to do something. I'm going to do some research into that right now.
With EM client?
No. With a Chrome web app that will, or a Chrome add-on that will
let you do
it'll look like an email client, but it'll be in the browser. I'm going to take a look.
I'll tell you what I've thought about doing, and I may actually do this. In fact, absent something to the contrary, it's probably what I'm going to do. I have started using a particular Gmail address that you guys have both seen, that it's easy to say, easy to remember, people can understand it and so forth. I've started using it instead of my primary email account. I've tried to push what I would call the more important or the more official email to my regular account, which I've had for 20 years, um, which I get on my phone. My Gmail account, I don't get on my phone. If you send me an email to that Gmail account, my less important account, I'll get it when I get to a computer, which is pretty often. I mean, I'm logged into it usually several times a day. And when I log in, I'll get it. But having said that, I've very seriously thought I'm looking at right now probably 8 Gmail accounts that I use for various purposes because I don't want all this email coming into the same box. Well, what I'm seriously considering doing is making every one of these Gmail accounts a forwarding account, have it forward to my main account, and then putting labels in that account.
And you could do that, and that would be probably your easiest solution for it. But
If I do that, I'm going to have to pay for additional storage, which is fine.
Why would you have to pay for additional storage?
Because I would fill up the 20 gigabytes that I have.
Oh, okay.
But then it's forever searchable. It's there and it's searchable.
Yeah. Well, and what you could do is you could also have it dump in the other account too. So you'd have you have 2 accounts for every email. But I'm looking on the Chrome's web store, and I don't see an email client that will do this. Thunderbird has an online email client. It's an extension built into Chrome. I don't know how this works, but interesting.
I mean, how about the people in the chat? What do you guys? I don't see any. What do you guys use or recommend? And by the way, I'm sorry I forgot to set up the Facebook link, but it is set up now.
So we're live on Facebook.
No, I mean we were live on
Oh.
Facebook all along, but you couldn't get to it. Now you can. And if you're watching on a big screen, the Facebook is the highest highest resolution, the highest quality.
The
Let's see,
second
sir.
problem I have with Thunderbird is that the guys who support it feel like they're doing me a favor.
Who?
Whoever the guys are that write it and support it.
That's open source for you.
I know. They can keep it.
I thought that Thunderbird went by the wayside until I saw something that no, it's still somebody took it and ran with it.
Mozilla.
Mozilla now they're behind it, but I don't think Mozilla actually
Develops it.
develops and updates it and keeps it up.
Interesting.
But it's
Yeah,
being
Mike.
maintained.
There you go, Mike,
There I go. What?
in the chat.
Mac Mail? Oh, I'll have to go run out
Get
and
a
get
Mac.
that.
Get a Mac.
I will get the Apple does have a nice email client built into their OS. Just saying.
Well, that's just like it was with Outlook Express.
Yeah.
It was built into the OS, kind of, and
Well, now, for example, your Windows 10 does have a mail client. I've never used
oh,
it.
it sucks. It's like Windows Live Mail and only worse.
Good for a basic account, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, part of that is that Microsoft doesn't want to cannibalize its Outlook customers.
Of course.
That's why they're putting crap clients in there.
I mean, I tried to set up John with Windows Live Mail and with the built-in, and then with Windows Live Mail with 2 accounts. It was pulling teeth. And finally, I just said, you know what? Just get EM Client and do it. And it works.
John, you said John, like we need to know who that is.
John Kane.
Oh, I mean, it's one of your customers. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. who you're talking
Friends.
about. Okay.
Okay, let's go a little bit. If we done with Thunderbird and stuff, are we?
Well, I wish Nick would learn Thunderbird because I got some questions to ask him.
Well, I have no reason to use Thunderbird. I use I can tell you everything you need to know about EM client.
But you need to make contributions to society.
Oh, gee. There has got to be 1,000 forum posts and YouTube videos on how to use Thunderbird. This program's been
Okay,
around for
good.
15
Then it won't
years.
take you long to get answers to my questions. That's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Next.
Let's get off this topic.
Starting later this year, owners of Amazon Echoes and other Alexa-powered devices will be able to say, Alexa, open Cortana,
Oh, yes, of course.
to start querying Microsoft voice assistants. Owners of devices running Microsoft Windows 10 operating system will be able to summon Alexa via Cortana in a similar manner. Why would customer want that? Especially with the relative clunky nature of the necessary voice commands. The companies say that each voice assistant has its strengths. Features like Microsoft Outlook and Exchange email integrated for Cortana, and smart home controls for shopping for Alexa. And that customers of both companies would benefit from an integration. I see Microsoft benefiting a whole lot more because everybody that I
Yes.
know doesn't use Cortana. They do away with it. Now they made it so you can't do away with it. You can't disable it or there. So they will gain from it.
And let me tell you, I will absolutely use Cortana on my computer if I can summon Alexa.
Alexa.
Especially at the
Yeah, you
office.
see, so there you go.
Because I don't have an
That's-
Alexa at my the new place, and I was just gonna go out and buy one. But I've got speakers hooked up to my computer, so that would be I'd be very interested in using something like that.
I don't know if that's how it's going to work. I think. No,
That's exactly.
it has to be the way it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would so through Cortana you would say
Yep.
Cortana, Alexa, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
whatever the command may be.
It's not clear if the two assistants will share voice data in an effort to make each digital assistant smarter, but there's a hope that someday these artificial agents are intelligent enough to route requests to the best virtual assistant for the task without a specific Alexa or Cortana command.
There you go.
So, yep, interesting. They, instead of trying to fight with each other, hey, let's work together. Steve,
Yes, indeed.
you have a dot, an Alexa dot.
No, I don't. Jorvik's got
Jorvik does.
dot.
Yeah.
He's got dots and an echo.
Mike, what do you have?
I have a headache. I have the only digital sort of device like that I have is the Grace digital radio, which is not voice activated.
Oh.
You don't have it. You need to get an Echo, Mike.
Well, maybe I don't want an Echo.
Why not?
I don't want it listening in on me.
Why not? Not.
The NSA might come around to put me in jail or something.
Well, possible.
Jorvik is adamant that it's the best thing since sliced bread, and uses it extensively because he's got Philips Hue lights and
Yeah.
various sensors and switches, and he just sits there all day talking to his lights and no blue, no I want red, no 50% brighter, no
No.
25% less, and he just talks to all his stuff, which is great. But
He
he listens a lot to music on it.
But see, I do the same thing. I talk to all of my stuff.
Well, I do too, but the dog looks at me strangely quite often. But I very rarely get any response from the stuff I talk to.
No,
I
I
have
have
been
been response, but look, that's good news. No back talk. I mean,
but
No,
you
it
No, that's good.
but you don't want an echo, Mike,
get-
huh?
I was thinking of getting an Echo predominantly for use as a music player, because that's what Mike uses his for extensively. Your sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, who has one, Nick? Is it Johnny?
Yeah, he just got one. I recommended it to him.
Okay, so he got one that says play WFBT, and our radio station starts playing.
Yeah, that's what I used to use it for. It's fantastic. It's great.
So.
It'll play anything from TuneIn. It'll play anything from iHeartRadio. And if obviously you have Amazon Prime, it'll play anything off Prime Music. You can link your Spotify account to it if you pay for that. I need to get one. I just haven't bothered yet.
Well, wasn't it on offer for $99 recently?
It is. It's $99 at Staples, and actually
That's the Echo, not the Dot.
Yeah. This is the
Echo
one.
Right.
I'm looking at I'm on Slick Deals, and QVC, which is my favorite site, is offering the Amazon Echo, the big one, for $74.
Wow.
For the next 13 hours, and you can get Mike. This is just for you. 5 easy payments of $14.99 for your
I just
Amazon
use credit card.
Well, you could do that too. You could.
That way I can stretch it out over 6 years.
So there you go. But yeah, $74.95 if you want an Amazon Echo in the next 13 hours, you can get it.
I wonder if Staples would do a price match on that.
I would guess probably not, because it's a sale. It's like a kind of like a flash sale that they're offering. I mean, like, if your Staples is close enough to your house, I guess it's
it won't hurt.
Might as well. Don't call them though, because they're useless over the phone.
Well, they're useless in person, but
that's also a fact.
sometimes you can buy stuff. But I don't know. I had to buy a 500 gigabyte solid state drive last week. When I got to Best Buy, they had one, so I scanned it, and the one I wanted, and I scanned it, and they had it $30 cheaper on Amazon. I showed them the phone; they did a price match.
I bought something at Staples last week, and on Staples' website, it was listed for $11.59. In store, it was $33.
Whoa.
And I mean, just bought it, walked up to the register, and they price matched their website. But anybody, if you're shopping anywhere at any retail store, Staples, Office Max, Best Buy, Circuit City's not around, but they all price match Amazon or their competitors. With no question. No questions asked. I mean, they'll just price match
it. Yeah, it won't hurt, Mike.
I'm tempted. I might do the same thing. I'm gonna get. Or I'll just order it online. Plus shipping, and great! I'm sure the shipping is a lot. Let's see.
But like I said, Mike, if you want an Echo, I can just give you one.
Why would you just give me one? Oh.
Amnon Nissan.
Get 'em back.
No shipping. Free shipping and free delivery.
That means you have to go get it.
What?
Never mind.
I'm sorry. Well, this is from QVC.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean,
I would pay $25 just to keep QVC from having my email address.
You can use a throwaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I forget to check them. Okay, so on a different subject, while we're talking stuff, I originally used a barcode scanner called Red Laser. It was excellent. Then they updated it. Then it was mediocre, and then they went out of business, meaning it was useless. I've been looking for a barcode scanner for my phone. I found one that seems pretty decent. It's got some nagging ads and stuff like that, but I guess that's to be expected. Unfortunately, it has a name that makes it almost impossible to look for, but it's called Barcode Scanner, QR Code Reader, and QR Scanner. And it's written by MD Mokkammal Hossain, Hossain. And it's good. It will find things that some of the others haven't found, and it works very quickly. Barcode scanner, QR code reader, and QR scanner. I mean, it's terrible that they allowed this in there without a better name than this. I don't know how you would search for it. It has 308 reviews and it's 4.5 stars, which is pretty darn good for an app.
I mean,
But you go in and scan the store
Mike,
and scan it right there in the store, and it's good to go.
Mike, you're talking about ads. I mean, how often do you use the app, and for how long do you use the app that the ads will be troublesome?
They, it's a fair question, but one of the things that they do is they have this little, I don't know if it's a GIF or some little graphic in the bottom where it says ads, and it sits there and vibrates. So it makes sure that you don't sit there watching the screen, because it to their credit, it does draw your attention directly to what they're trying to do, but it's really annoying. I mean, if it were just the ads, I thought about buying it till I saw that, because the paid, I wanted to test it out first. There's a free version and it works. It's not crippled or anything, but sometimes the paid versions have better features or what have you. And this one seems to really work well. I don't know who Muhammad or Makamal or Hussein is, but that's okay. He doesn't know me either. But it works really well. Best QR code free app in the market. QR code reader. I guess the name of it is QR code reader and barcode scanner free.
Great name. It's like a Google name.
The one I use on the iPhone is called QR code. That's it.
I tried that one, and this one is better. You might want to try this one.
I use one called QR scanner, and I've been pretty happy with that one. But I very rarely use it.
This one is version 1.0, released March 4th, 2017.
So, Mike, why do you need to use something like that? Why couldn't you just go on Amazon and search the name of the product?
Amazon's not always the cheapest.
No, I know. So does this app do a price comparison?
Sure, it brings you up. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's cool then. Mine just scans
so
the
it's
barcode.
not, you're using it for that, not to scan.
Wait. It's not a price comparison thing. It will bring up. I mean, actually, I don't know if it's not just Amazon, but it'll go out and find it, and it will help you.
Okay.
Find out what the market price is, because some places jack the prices way up.
Okay.
Now, the point you're making is that if I'm in Best Buy, I typically will open the Amazon app and scan it with the Amazon app, because I know that they will price match Amazon. They might not, and probably would not price match some obscure website out there. It might not even be an official dealer of the stuff, but they don't argue with Amazon. And I really hate to do price matching, but if they're going to offer it, I'm going to take advantage of it.
Why do you hate doing it? That doesn't make any sense.
I'll tell you why. Because it's an old-fashioned. Amnon will probably get it, but let's suppose that there are two service stations near my house. Service station A is always cheaper than service station B. Next week, for some reason, they're the same price. I'm going to buy from service station A because they have put their better foot forward without me having to beat them over the head with it, and I want to reward them for being more customer friendly with their pricing. Now, if they jack the price up and keep it higher, then I'm going to shift over to B. But I try to have at least some loyalty to merchants who try to take care of their customers. So what I'm saying is that my attitude has always, for a long time, been, I'm not going to price match. If your price is higher, I'm just going to buy elsewhere. You know what your product is worth. You know how much you need to get it for it. So it's not for me to try to get in here and have you sell a product and not make a profit on it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the days when the ads would say, we will match our competitors, and you go and you see that Best Buy has it for $10, and Circuit City back then, whatever, has it for 15, and always had it for 15. And I would not go to and Circuit City also said we'll match it. I would go to Best Buy to buy it because they were always that price, and you reward them for being more consumer oriented, so to speak.
No, that's
then-
right. I mean, when you're talking two local retail stores,
Yeah.
I have never done a price match on that basis. If Best Buy is cheaper than and if both have it in stock, it's the
Right.
same item. One's cheap.
Yeah.
I'm just going to buy it from the cheaper
Right.
store.
Exactly.
I'm not. I mean, why would I want a price match? I mean, the
Well-
only thing I can think of is maybe I'm there. I'm buying other items. And it's convenient. I might consider it on that basis.
That's
But I'm just
whenever
gonna
I've
go-
used it.
Yeah, but and there's I don't think I've ever done that, but I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. But I absolutely can justify doing it between Amazon and Best Buy because they want to compete with Amazon. They say they want my business instead of Amazon, so just blindly buying for. I mean, I detest Amazon as a company. I don't owe them a darn thing. And if they want to say, hey, we can compete, we can make money if they can sell it to you for $149 weekend as well, okay, well, let's do it.
Right.
No questions asked.
Right.
But I'm not going to go in there and beat them up with it.
Dr. John asks us if you would put a link to that, but it's on your phone, isn't it?
It's on my phone.
What's the icon look like, Mike? I can get it. And can you give me the name one more time? I'll put it in here.
Well,
I mean, this was like a thing that I played a little bit with in the early days when it came out, and I never go shopping that I need to.
You never go shopping in general.
No, Kathy does it for me.
Yeah. The app I use doesn't do the price comparison. It just tells you what it
now
is.
you see, that's the nice thing. That's what I was going to ask. So you're talking about an app that if you scan an item, it'll come and say, yeah, this
That's very
costs
deep.
$60 at the Amazon, but you can get it for $49 some other place. Is that what it does? Is that?
Yeah,
what
I think
you-
that's what Mike's saying. I don't know. I've never used a service like that. I mean, typically, I mean, Amazon doesn't always have the best price, but they almost always have a better price than the in-store price.
Oh, yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
always.
And in many cases, a lot of people, like I used to be a fan of eBay. Amazon has better prices on most of the stuff that I buy, but I go and look at eBay also, and I said, oh, forget that. And I guess it's because of their arm twisting,
Yeah.
but it's fine.
I can only tell you, I mean, of course, even here on the screen, they don't even give you the full name under the icon on the screen. So I'm sorry to be so
But-
aloof with it. Maybe let me tell you how to spell the author's name. Nick,
Okay.
see if you can find it with the author's name.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to take a second as well. How to create, scan hints. I don't know. It's just terrible branding here.
Terrible.
Really
terrible.
terrible. It's called barcode scanner dash QR code. I think the name of it is QR code reader and QR scanner. That may be the name of it. In the author's name is MD as in doctor, MD space MOKAMMAL space HOSSAIN.
Okay.
And if anybody finds a better one, I have no commitment at all to this one. I would be glad to switch to something else if they find a better one.
I got
And
it.
like John
Found it?
said, he Googled it and got a lot of close matches. That's the problem. That's why I've been testing these
Mike,
things.
is the
I've
icon red with a white and black barcode? Yep. Okay. I just put the link in chat.
Okay.
This is for iOS.
Only.
Well, yeah. I mean, it only popped up for iOS. I don't know if there's an Android one. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see a. I don't see.
All right. Look at what the heck's the name of it.
I posted the name of it. It's called barcode scanner dash QR code reader and QR scanner. That's the name of it.
What horrible branding. Yep, that's it. I've been very pleased with it. I mean, every time I've checked it,
Just to make it clear, this is only for iOS, for an iPhone.
as far as we know, this is the App Store.
Yeah.
I can't find it. It doesn't pop up on Google for Android.
Okay, go ahead, Mike. You were saying.
No, I was just going to say, I'm. It's only $3, but you can end up going broke buying $3 here and there and the other, especially for bad apps. So I definitely used the free version for a while. I've used this one for several months. The times that I've used it, it has worked well. I've been very pleased with it. And if nothing better, of course, see, he's on version 1.0. The guy may have stopped developing the darn thing. As soon as you pay for it, he may quit supporting it. If nobody bought it, it's a very crowded field. But Red Laser, I was very disappointed to see Red Laser disappear because it worked really well. The other thing you can do too with it is whenever you go into a store and you do a scan of the barcode, because you're shopping around, not particularly looking for pricing, matching, or just trying to understand what's out there, you go home and you've got all the information right there on your phone. You can bring it up on the web and do your research on the item to find out if that's what you're looking for. But you can do it. You can do the same thing. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. It's not just a Best Buy. You can go to the flea market or whatever and do a scan on something. Go to the gun show. You do a scan. Find out that the guy wants $100 too much money for something. It's useful. It's very useful.
Okay. Okay.
I just bought my Echo from QVC.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Use a credit card?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good
16.
that is
No.
the best deal you will find on this thing.
He's got a phone that you can put a $50 bill through, and that's how.
Yeah, just threw it into the disk drive in Amnon's computer here.
Yeah, but see, I've got I've got free money on Amazon. I can get it for $0.
Oh, then there you go. But I'm saying for people listening, if you're interested in getting an Amazon Echo, $74 is the best price you will find. You won't find a
that's
better
less
price.
than half price.
Yeah, it's normally 150, right?
I think it's more than that. I don't
Maybe
know.
200, maybe? I don't know. Let me take a look.
So why are they selling it so cheap? Old model?
It's their deal of the day or whatever they call
Well,
it.
they still don't like losing money.
That's I don't know. Normally the Echo it's currently unavailable. Surprisingly, it's $179 on. See, I think I got my parents one for Christmas. And
Yeah,
how much
they
did I pay
always
for
have it.
Was it
They
$100?
always have it less than that. I mean,
Yeah.
on sales. Yeah.
So it's normally $179, but Amazon always pretty much sells it for $100. QVC selling it for $75. I've never purchased anything from QVC before, but $75
fine.
is $75, and it comes with 2 months of
Audible.
2 months plus music and an Audible book. So you get a free Audible book. I'm a bit.
Probably.
I don't know if I'll bother using it though, Mike. You know.
Yeah, I know you don't. get to
Gone,
really
gone,
do it.
gone with the wind.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I saw a discussion on TV. Somebody said that they should ban that book.
Ban what book?
Gone with the Wind.
Oh,
You know, with all the Confederate stuff.
Well, quite
Scary.
frankly, I don't give a damn.
I'm scared
It's,
of living. I'm scared of living here with all this
Unbelievable how
Confederate
far
stuff.
this is
I'm
going
gonna have
to
to
go.
move back. It's very
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Lots of
Anyway.
scary people.
Next, talk about social media. In America,
Socialist media.
Fact.
in America, the Internal Revenue Service used to pick who got audited based on math mistakes or discrepancies with the W-2 forms, but not anymore. The IRS is now engaging in data mining of public and commercial data pools, including social media, and creating highly detailed profiles of taxpayers upon which to run data analytics. This article argues that current IRS practices, mostly unknown to the general public, are violating their information practices. This lack of transparency and accountability not only violates federal law regarding the government's data collection activities and use of predictive algorithms, but may also result in criminal discrimination. While the potential efficiencies that big data analytics provide may appear to be a panacea for the IRS budget woes, unchecked, these activities are a significant threat to privacy. There are other concerns about the IRS entrance into big data that are raised, including potential for political targeting, data breaches, and misuse of such information. So now even the IRS is getting into social media.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Big fan of the IRS here
Yeah.
and everything they do.
Mike is too. Mike loves them.
Who doesn't? They
Yeah.
provide great service
You got
for
to.
this country.
Yeah, you got to.
I have universal advice I give to people. Keep the government out of your life as much as possible. You have nothing to win.
No.
I'm telling you that, well, I'm not going to get into it, but it's,
Yeah.
it's a no-win situation.
Hey, Mike, let's do a woodworking talk. Talk about the little thing you made yesterday.
No, you talk about it. Let me see how much of an impression we made.
So, Mike needed to mount.
Wait. This is Woodworking 2K now.
Yes. Welcome to I'm your host, Amnon Nissan. This is woodworking.
Woodkay now.
Yeah, Woodk now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next 10.5 minutes. So Mike needed to build Mike, how big is that net switch? 24 ports?
Yeah, 24.
A 24 port, like a rack mountable net switch, like any other rack mount equipment. And he needed to put it under his desk and up off the floor. So Mike built what would you say? You made an L with two boards. Is there
I made two brackets, two wooden brackets.
Two wooden brackets, L-shaped brackets to put the device up on. And Mike, what would you say the end result is?
Mediocre.
Okay, well, it seems to work quite well. Mounted up under the desk.
It worked, but I used some steel brackets to mount it to the table, and those steel brackets don't have the level they allow the brackets to move too much. So the design was a little flawed, but it worked. I mean, the switch is sitting there mounting, and the cords are up off the floor. So I guess the objective was obtained.
So are you saying that you actually mounted the switch? Did the switch come with rack mounts?
It did, but I just made an L bracket on each end.
Oh, okay, and set it there.
In there
okay,
like a shelf.
I see. Okay.
Like hung it from the tabletop.
Yeah. Excuse me.
I think the end result was quite good.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it works.
Yeah, it works.
And okay, maybe this is a good question for Amnon, Mike, because we were talking about this last night. Why is it when something like a net switch, all of the ports are either in the front or the back? Why is the power adapter not on the same side with everything else? It just seems very stupid to me.
It's because it's cheaper to manufacture it that way by isolating the power from the Ethernet.
Very annoying.
Yeah, and another thing that people should think about when they're buying a switch, if you buy it for home, make sure you get one that has an external power supply, not an internal, not one that you connect the computer cable to the back, because if it's with the plug directly, it has a fan or two, and they can get noisy.
Interesting.
If it has a power brick outside,
then it's fine.
Then it's fine. It's quiet. So just think about these things.
The more you know.
When you buy one. But yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I go both ways. I mean, I like the switch to have wires on the front, but then the wires normally cover up all the lights, so you can't see what is working, what is jammed, or whatever. Or it's on the back, and then it's hard to unplug and plug a wire. The one that I use in the office has the power on the back, but everything else is on the front. And if I want to reboot it, I have to reach back and pull the power cable out and push it back in. You don't get to it much. You don't need to get to it or use it a lot. But yeah, when you push it against the wall, something is holding it back. So what
I had an interesting thing happen this week. My daughter, who is working for a law firm, was in CLE, continuing legal education class this week at the Bar Association over near my house. My office is, I guess the Bar Association is about, well, anyway, It's not far from where I work. I live about 8 minutes from the office, except when there's traffic. So anyway, I'm getting ready to go to lunch. I literally stand up from my desk and start walking towards the door, and I get a text from my daughter saying that the power adapter on her HP computer just died, and she wanted to know if I had one, a spare. Well, her computer's about 3 or 4 years old, and it uses a very large power adapter. I said, well, send me a picture of it. So she sent me a picture. It was wrong. And send me another picture. And all this time I'm walking to my car. By the time I get to the car, I get the picture, look at the label. And unbeknownst to me, I knew it was a very large one, but it's an HP and it's 120 watts. I mean, most of them are 65. The big ones are 90. This one was 120 watts.
Wow.
Well, I get in the car. I start heading towards home. I get home. I go into my box of power adapters. I get 3/4 of the way through it and find exactly the same one. I mean, it's even the same date code. I have no idea where I got it. And so anyway, I got there. Well, how do you have one? Well, Katie, it was in my box of stuff that you will end up throwing in the trash can when I'm gone because you think it has no value. So there you go.
Right?
She dogs on us about collecting so much stuff. I do collect a bunch of stuff, but you got to admit, Nick, I do have a lot of good stuff.
I'm fully aware you've got a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna steal some stuff before I leave.
Yeah.
I think Susan would love for you to.
Susan has her own problems. Thank you very much.
Yes, we're going to talk NFL next week.
No, she wants to do it today.
Week 1 of the NFL.
NFLK now.
NFL kickoff next Sunday. First game is Thursday night. It's going to be a great week of the NFL season. It would be interesting to see what viewership happens, though, because obviously there's the big hubbub about kneeling for the national anthem, and so it'll be interesting to see what viewers are like.
You think it will have the same problems that the fight had? Is that the viewership of the game or viewership?
Viewership in general.
Yeah.
I mean, well, for example, not that this is relevant to anything, but just talking about viewership, it kind of fits in. The parent company for Viagra, whoever owns them, I don't remember what drug company, they pulled all of their advertising, and they did something like 20% of advertising during football games. They pulled all of it this season.
Why?
They just didn't feel. I guess they didn't feel they were getting their money's worth. But that was a big sponsor for the NFL. So clearly they saw something
that's a bunch.
No longer interested in advertising during the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So Nick, how much was the final charge on your Echo?
$74.
Well, I'm looking here, and I went through it just clicking on stuff, and they want $80.38. So what have they added $6 for?
Did you use the link I sent?
I did.
Mine was $74.
It says price subject to change without prior notice.
Yeah, because mine says shipping. Oh, maybe that's tax. It's probably tax because mine says free shipping.
Where did you have it shipped to?
My apartment.
Well, then it's North Carolina. You need to look, see if they're adding tax to it.
I guess I'll check when it hits my
They
statement.
didn't tell you when you were...
I thought it said 74, but I did
It's $74.95 for the box, but that's not what the final billing price.
I did it as a guest, so I don't have the. I can't log back in.
Oh, I see.
Well, still, what did you say the total was? 82.
80 something.
That's still a good deal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and you got to pay to the government; they'll always get theirs.
And you can't even get it on Amazon if you want it. It's out of stock. It says it's unavailable, which means they're probably getting ready.
QVC bought all of them.
QVC probably did buy all of them. They're probably going to be introducing a new version. I mean, I think the speaker on it's phenomenal. Anyway.
Unbelievable.
So, and it gets OS updates. When did this thing come out? It hasn't been out that long. Maybe 3 or 4 years.
Which?
I
Yeah,
was going through the checkout process, and at one point in there, they wanted the last 4 digits of my social security number.
Really?
Yes. Guess what?
No. Why would they ask for that?
I know. There's no
I'm
reason.
telling you.
Are you creating an account?
Well, I have an account. I had one years ago.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It was so old that it was a 4-digit PIN to log in.
Jeez.
What do you mean? Everything now pins are still 4 digits.
Instead of a password?
If it's a pin, it's always 4 digits. So credit cards, whatever. I don't
not true.
understand why can't they go to higher number?
Well, they can. I mean, the iPhone for the longest time only had 4 things. Now you can do as many as you want.
Nice.
Unlock.
Nice. Thousands of
They're not even showing the itemization of what the charges are. I mean, this is just a scammy way to do things.
I agree.
Select your payment options.
Do the easy payments. Your life will be
5 easy
great.
payments of $16.
Your life will be forever better.
is it same
What
as
if I don't have the $16?
Well,
Credit card,
Mike, I'll
credit.
loan it to you. It's okay. I got you covered.
I don't borrow money.
we're taking donations from Mike to buy an Echo.
No, to make the payment on the Echo.
Yeah, we're doing an Indiegogo for
An Indiegogo for Mike.
Mick Phillips's Echo. And you too. And Michael personally sign you a thank you card. That's part of the.
Absolutely. And put it on the internet.
Yep, and it'll be scanned to you digitally. It's gonna be your life will never be the same.
Well, listen to this. Thousands of ATMs and electronic card payment machines in Indonesia went offline over last weekend, and it might take 2 more weeks before full service is restored after an outage from satellite belonging to state-controlled telecom giant PT Telecomunicas. 2 weeks to restore service to ATMs and payments.
Well, if your satellite
machines.
uplink
Wow.
system gets destroyed or
Well,
damaged, there's really no other way to get it up
I
there.
understand, but I mean, think about it. You
Yeah.
are a vendor, or you are a
Yeah.
bank. This is
I was in a
wow.
I was in a Subway last week, and they had a big sticker on the front door that said "Internet is out, cannot take credit cards, cash only." I mean, hell, if we have an internet outage, I bet you Thursday night around
Interesting.
this area, anybody that had
Yeah,
Spectrum for
true. Yeah,
internet probably was unable to do credit card transactions. Yeah, but Subway, big sign on the door. And I bet you they lose a lot of business because people don't carry cash. I'm lucky I had a 20 on me because I don't normally
I
carry
carry
much.
cash.
What?
I carry cash.
So do I normally, but I didn't. I hardly had anything on me.
I don't carry a lot of cash, but I carry enough to eat for the day.
There you go. I had a gift card I wanted to use and I couldn't use it.
Oh my gosh.
I'll just have to go again next week. But yeah, so there you go.
Tax $5.43.
Oh, that's
now
sounds about right.
Nick,
Yes,
you graduated with computer science
I guess so.
thing,
It's
right?
computer information systems.
Yeah.
A BS.
Facebook hired Michael Sayman for an internship when he was 17 years old and gave him a full-time engineering job at 18. Now, the wunderkind is leaving for Alphabet Google. He turned
That's not what it's
21
called
last
anymore.
week. At Facebook, he was a product manager who helped the social media giant understand how his generation uses their phones, advising on experimental products for teens and helping executives understand trends. At Google, he'll be a product manager for Assistant, a voice-based service built on the search engine giant's database. 21.
That's interesting.
So it's still out there. I mean, guys, if you're really, really good at something, it's still out there.
But hold on, you realize he's not very good at anything.
Well, I don't know.
It tells you exactly what he's good at. He is in the know with how people his age use the internet.
Then he's good at that.
I couldn't do that because I don't use any of that
No.
stuff. I have Facebook and Twitter, and I don't use Facebook. I do
Well,
use Twitter.
Now you're getting an Echo, so you would.
I have
would
an
use-
Echo. I'm an expert in Alexa.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan
that's
of
it. That's it.
Just order things by asking for it. It's fantastic. So, Mike, did you order your Echo?
I did.
There you go. You'll love it. You really will. You'll be blown away with the audio quality on it too.
Yeah, well, audio is not important.
That's a fact. Oh, here we go. Amazon's back in stock now on the Echo from Refresh, but it won't. It's on
$49.99, right?
Yeah, actually, they do 5 monthly payments of $20, so you're almost better off buying it from there. It's a much better deal.
Yeah, you'll have more interest to deduct off your taxes.
Exactly.
That's 100.
Yeah, but it's much better payments. But it's not. It's in stock on September 8th. So I wonder if QVC did buy a big order from, and that's why it's out of
It's
stock.
possible.
Now the next thing we'll have to get you, Mike, is a couple of the Philip Hughes lights so that you can control them with your Alexa.
Yeah, well, Nick, I think you can have an appreciation for my comment and realize I've been in gadgets for a long time, and I'm about gadgeted out right now.
You'll really love.
He's gadgeted out.
You'll love the Alexa, and Susan can listen to amateur radio on it through Broadcastify.
Yeah, I need that.
Very, very useful.
It's hard enough getting fed around here now. Maybe it'll work in the kitchen.
Oh God.
And Mike, I don't know what you heard about Alexa, but you cannot say, Alexa, fix me a burger.
Well, how do you know that? Have
It
you tried
doesn't work. I tried.
It'll sing happy birthday to you. Fun fact.
It's not my birthday.
Well,
Oh, Gene's going to give me 2 quarters that somebody left in the golf cart he used on Thursday. Well, thank you, Gene. That's nice.
Well, that's it. You start bringing it down.
By the way, for people who are listening, I will be coming back next week begging for money for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
Okay.
This group has every year come through and made donations, and I've been impressed with their giving. I am. My daughter-in-law has type 1 diabetes, and it's a very, very insidious disease. I'm not a big fan of a lot of these organizations that collect money for research because a lot of times the money goes into their pockets.
Yeah.
But the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, from what I can tell, they probably got problems like all of the rest, but they are working on a disease that there can be treatments, there can be progress made in our lifetime. My brother died of Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. Do I believe in ALS research? Absolutely. We need to find some sort of treatment or cure for that disease. I don't believe it's going to happen in our lifetimes. JDRF can get some results today. Amnon can tell you much better than I because his daughter is type 1. And there are new inventions coming out. There are new technologies. There are new ways to live with this insidious disease. And I will tell you, it's like walking around with a ball and chain on your foot. Or it can be. It's a lot of it's your attitude, I guess. But so anyway, I'll be begging for money probably next week.
That'll be fine. What kind of percentage is Mac OS out there? Macs too.
I don't know. I could search.
7% worldwide.
What'd you say?
It's like 7% worldwide.
Yeah, I'd say between 7 and 20. It's not 10.
Well, data for the month of August 2017 from reliable market analytics firm Net Applications is here, and it suggests that Linux has finally surpassed the 3% mark, quite possibly for the first time in recent years. According to Net Applications, the market share of Linux jumped from 2.53% in July to 3.37% in August. And they can't explain why, but Linux is getting up there. Now, I really don't know anybody who's not a techie who's using Linux as a desktop.
Well, according to this, Mac OS X 10.12, which I guess is the most recent, I don't know, that's 3.5%. And
So-
Linux is 3.37. Windows 7 is 48% of the market still.
So who's
Well, I will tell
who's
you
the second
that it's
place?
Windows 10
interesting
and
that
Windows 7.
it's interesting that you bring this up, Amnon, because in fact, when Nick got back today, one of the things that I was going to bring up to him is that I am probably going to have him and or Sean and or somebody build a Linux machine for me to play with. What frustrates me about it is because I've got computers all around here. What frustrates me about it is, oh, you need to do Mint, you need to do this, you need to do that. Oh, it doesn't matter. This one's faster. It's got a better interface. Oh, that's a terrible interface on that. But some of the things that Nick, Sean, and I are going to be working on going forward if good Lord willing, they're going to be Linux based, because I am sorry, I detest Windows 10. The updates and the crap they're throwing in there is just, I'm sick of it. If it's, it's getting to the point that there's not going to take a whole lot for me, at least on one machine, that I would try to be a daily user to stop using Windows 10 and to focus on Linux. I mean, Nick would have, you guys were here when Nick would attack me for saying that a year or two ago on Windows 10, and called Amnon and me old fashioned and old fogies and stuck in our ways. And now he's gotten his butt burned a little bit with some Windows updates on some mission critical systems.
I'd still recommend Windows 10.
You're crazy.
I'm not crazy.
You know
what's the alternative, Mike? Linux is not a real alternative.
It is a real alternative. There is, if we could get Symbian and an FTP client to run on Linux, it would be insane to run it under Windows.
I mean, I'm sure it would be. That'd be fine. But I mean, I seriously, you think of all the things you do daily on your computer, 80-something% of those applications will only run on Windows. Now, yes, you can run things in Wine. You can do things in Wine.
No, forget that. I'm talking native, but let's think about that just a second.
Okay.
What you're saying is absolutely true 10 years ago.
I think it's still true now.
Well, hang on a minute. We were just talking about email. Let's suppose Thunderbird runs under Linux.
Yes, it does.
All right. If we're using web-based email,
yep,
you can get a browser for Linux.
Yep.
As far as doing word processing, unless you're using it for business, open source software. What's the name of it?
LibreOffice or OpenOffice. Those are both great.
OpenOffice.
I use OpenOffice now. Yeah, I use it on Windows.
Audacity runs on Linux.
Skype on Linux is awful. Let me tell you, it's the worst.
I mean, there's some problems.
Yeah. Useless.
Really so bad. I'm just telling you. I don't know whether Hangouts work on Linux. I bet they do.
WebRTC will work in the Chrome browser, so that ideally would work. But now you're talking about, for example, dealing with audio inputs in Linux, huge pain. Half your sound cards wouldn't work.
I get it.
Yeah.
But having said that, I mean, right now I'm not even using the 1010 LTs in a mission critical application. They're installed because they were installed before. I'm not even using them.
Yeah.
Why?
But I don't need them. I don't have a studio set up here.
Okay.
We're using them in several other places, or we're getting ready to use them again. But right now I'm just telling you that Linux is it a Windows replacement? No. Is it adequate? It depends on the application.
I will agree with you, and I'll give you this, and I think this is good for everybody. Now that Chrome, with their app store, has gotten so many extensions that are, for all intents and purposes, full-fledged feature programs, I think there's some validity to what you're saying, Mike. Absolutely. My big problem with Linux has always been the freaking drivers, because they just and you go online and it's like, oh well, just do this, that, and the other. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Back to Windows I go. And there's no game support on Linux because DirectX doesn't run. So you can't,
it's not for everyone. I mean, even they don't admit it, but even most people who have Mac computers have a Windows computer somewhere so they can go get something done.
Most Mac users, Mike, run Boot Camp, and they've got a Windows partition on their hard drive. I know most people that have Macs that have a Windows partition on.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people who have Macs, and I don't even know anyone who's running Boot Camp, but it's a popular program. I mean, it's a useful program. They may not be admitting that they're running it, but I'm not aware that they are. I know that Chad doesn't run it.
I know. I remember through college, kids would be booting up their MacBooks and they'd be holding down Control, and it would pop up with Mac OS and then the Windows logo.
Sure, but that's a different environment than the real world.
Not true. Why, college isn't real world?
No.
Oh, jeez.
No.
I'm shocked.
No, it's not.
All right, so Dookie is having a fit that it's after 11, so we need to probably wind it up.
Well, that's just too bad, Dookie. Yeah, but it's that time of day again.
You said the Red Hat has training in Raleigh. That's my point. I don't want training. I want to sit down, turn on the computer. If I want to go to a browser, I'll open the browser. If I want to go to OpenOffice, I'll double click on that. That's what I want to do. Now, having said all that, one thing I meant to say a minute ago before Nick so rudely interrupted me is that one of the things that I do is donate old computers and some newer stuff to Cramden.org, which we had them on here, and we've had them on before, and we endorse what they do and like what they do. They take old hard drives and old computers, they put Linux on them and give them to people who can't afford to buy their own computers. They don't want to pay for Windows to give it out, but they put Linux on it, and they are getting computers in the hands of kids who would otherwise not be computer operators. And if there are other companies out there doing that same thing, then under the concept of incrementalism, over time, this grows. People grow up on Linux, they become more comfortable with it.
You need to run Ubuntu. That's the most.
Yeah.
That's the most Windows-ish in terms of things being pre-installed. There's a media player pre-installed. There's like a notepad.
It's the most user-friendly.
Well, it's just the easiest in terms of for if you install something like Puppy Linux probably isn't a good example. Linux, there's not even a text editor built, and you have to go and get a text editor.
But that's okay, though, the way they run that repository, that once you know how to get APT or whatever it is, and it's going to download it, it keeps you from garbaging up your hard drive.
Yeah, I guess.
Mike, and you can download Ubuntu and run it from a CD or even from the hard drive and not change your computer.
I've done that, and I've played with it. I've done it. I've got multiple discs around here with it on that, but running it from a DVD really doesn't do it justice.
Because of the speed.
Yeah, it really makes you want to dog on the system. It's not the system's fault that it.
So download it to the hard drive.
Run it on you can run it on a flash drive. It runs just like a regular OS.
Yeah, I haven't tried it since flash drives have gotten big enough and fast enough and all that. But as Nick will tell you, I've got plenty of hard drives around here now. I can build one on the hard drive and just throw it in the computer.
Yeah.
But I may do that. I'm working on some other things that are a little bit higher priority. But I was actually thinking about this morning, because if you think about it, case in point, and then we'll get out of here. Let's suppose that you are in a hotel and you want to log in and print out your boarding pass for your flight home. You go to this terminal. It's locked down. You have no control over the operating system. You go to it. You open a browser. You log into your account. You print your boarding pass. What difference does it make if that's Linux? As an operator, it's invisible to you.
At this point, what difference does it make, Mike?
You're right. The hell with it.
Oh.
I saw a picture online real quick earlier this week. I don't remember where it was. It was something, but it was just a Windows rebooting screen. It wasn't an ATM. It was it was a kiosk in in the McDonald's. McDonald's now has the order kiosks where you can place an order.
And
it was just like the Windows lockup screen or something on this kiosk. It was quite funny.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot imagine using Windows as an embedded system.
Well, well, there's a lot of things that you.
We go and walk at Cary Village, Cary Town Center, and they have all those advertising boards, and every now and then you see the Windows sign up screen.
Yep,
is right. Yeah, nobody's monitoring it.
I mean, for what it does, Linux is golden.
Yeah,
what if you had to convert all your servers to Windows, Amnon?
Yeah, right.
And that's the end of Delta Force.
Yep.
As we know it. I mean, one of my business interests is fully hosted on a Windows server, and it works well. We've been pretty pleased with it, but it's only because it's a managed server and their techies know how to maintain that stuff. It's a shared server. But gee whiz, it just scares me to death to think about depending on Windows for mission critical.
I had a customer that was running a Windows server co-located, and this was the biggest pain. Every time they did an update, and they need to do it a lot more often than once a month. This was 4 or 5 years ago or more. I had to go up there because it will always lock up, and then it will lock up on this or that, and I'll wait until he calls, and I'll go and he was in Europe, So it's and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how to fix it. He had to fix it, so I had to reboot. I was so glad when this went away. It's ridiculous. Anyway. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Steve, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh.
Just sitting and listening. Dog's been whinging a bit, so I've had the mic muted.
All right. Anything you wanted to add? You wanted to say anything about anything?
No, interesting show. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Amnon.
And thank you, Nick.
Thanks for having me in the
Thank you,
studio,
Mike.
Amnon.
You're in the studio. What about it?
So thanks for having me in the studio.
Oh, come on. Thank you for coming over. That was fun. But that's it for today. Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computer Stuka Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at Computers 2K Now. While you're at it, like us on Facebook and follow us on the YouTube channel. Nick, are you doing the show tonight?
It's going to be last week's show.
It's going to be last week's show.
Same
So
show.
tonight at 7, you can listen to Nick Craig, who hosts his show Against the Norms on Wilmington Big Talker 106.7. And you can listen on TuneIn. See you next week, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.